now tuned into The Truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The Truth with G. The Truth with G. The Truth with G. All right. Welcome back to the show. You listen to The Truth with G on WPMM Internet Radio. I am your boy, Jill Graham, also known as G. Once again, we are back to talk about the issues that matter to you and your community. Hope all is well with everyone. Hope everyone had a great day today. It is Thursday. We are on the downslope to the weekend. This Friday Eve. We are headed toward the weekend. Look like we're going to have a little cool weekend this weekend. Something like last week, I guess. Where I was last weekend, it was extremely cold, but you know how we do here. I think we got some things going on in Pensacola this weekend. I believe gallery night is this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. But hope you have a good weekend, safe weekend. Make sure that you're protecting yourself in all ways. But I want to thank you for joining me right here on WPMM Internet Radio with The Truth with G. Got a few topics we're going to discuss tonight. So let's go ahead and take care of the particulars, if you will. If you're listening to the show on WPMM.com, WPMMradio.com. I apologize. WPMMradio.com is the website you can listen to the show. You can also go to WPMMradio.com and download the app. We have a free app that you can download. You can download the app from the Apple Store as well, the Google Play Store. We're live on Facebook Live. We are live on. We have our YouTube channel that we are live as well. We have just about every streaming platform. We are live. So if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. If you're listening, and someone else needs to listen and may not have Facebook or whatever the case may be, just text them, WPMMradio.com. Just put that in the message field, send it to them. All they have to do is click on it, hit play, and they can listen to the show as well. The views and opinions expressed by individual radio hosts and guests are of their own and does not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WPMM Radio. WPMM does not intend to align with any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, anyone, or anything. Just a little disclaimer in case somebody try to sue WPMM. You can't sue WPMM for my words. But at the same time, you can't sue me for my words because my words are based in fact. And you can't sue anybody over telling your truth. If you got a problem with your truth, then you need to change that. I'm just telling it. So today we're going to discuss a wide range of topics here and just kind of let you know what we have going forward. It is Friday the 17th, I believe it is today. Next week is Thanksgiving. Actually, on next week, I will be on vacation next week. So as far as live shows, I won't be doing any live shows next week. Obviously, Monday is my show air on Mondays and Thursdays. Thursday is Thanksgiving, and then Monday again I'll be on vacation, so I won't be broadcasting live. But you can catch a replay of the show at my time slot, 6:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. A replay of a show on WPMMradio.com. But you know me, I may be popping in on Facebook here and there, especially if something go down and I feel like you need to know, I may pop in. So also, and for the people that's been with me for a while, and let's see, it has some people on Facebook already. Miss Deborah Rivers is with us, Miss Minnie Watkins, Mr. Adams, good evening to all. The people that's been rolling with me for the last couple of years may have noticed that something is absent this Thanksgiving. And what it is, the last 2 years, I had been doing feeding families for Thanksgiving. And I kind of kept it, at first I wasn't going to say anything about it, but I need to explain what is going on with that. as far as this year. But again, for 2 years running, I did Feeding Families for Thanksgiving, where I uh, solicited donations from my listeners so that I could donate to families in need that need a little help for Thanksgiving dinner. And um, it was, pretty successful. I was proud of what took place. The first year, I think we fed 17 families, and those 17 families got a $100 gift card. The second year, last year, I think we fed 13 families. Again, every family got a $100 gift card toward their Thanksgiving dinner. However, this year, it did not happen this year. It did not happen, and there's a couple reasons why it didn't happen. Myself, my schedule just did not allow me to dedicate the time that was necessary for me to do that. If I had done it, it was going to be in. I felt like it was going to be in poor taste. I felt like it was going to be kind of just thrown together. It wasn't gonna. It probably wouldn't have flowed well. So if I can't do it in the spirit of excellence, I just chose to bypass that this year. However, my plan is to come back next year with Feeding Families for Thanksgiving again next year. However, to do that, I do need the help of the community, the help of the listeners for donations. One thing that bothered me about donations, and for everyone who donated, I appreciate each and every one of you. For those who wanted to give that may not have had it to give, I appreciate you as well. That the thought and the sentiment is worth even more than the actual monetary value, if you will. Because I know some people wanted to, but they just didn't have the means to do so. But what bothered me about that whole thing is that my time is limited, so I wasn't able to solicit door to door. I wasn't able to go knock on people's doors and say, "Can you do this? Can you do that?" I did use the platform of Facebook and other networking, um, social media, if you will, to try to solicit for donations and whatnot. I particularly reached out to businesses, if you will, um, and particularly Black businesses. I reached out, and I was disappointed. I was disappointed because I did not get any support or any reaction or any response from our Black businesses in regards to my efforts. So I think in that um, aspect of things, I was really disappointed in that. But the everyday citizen and everyday community person who doesn't own businesses or whatnot, they came through and they donated. And again, we were over the course of 2 years, we fed in excess of 30. Let's see, we had 17 the first year, and I think it was 13 or 14 the second year. Um, so we were able to feed around 31, 32 families over the last couple of years, and I think that's for a start, that was pretty decent. But this year I just did not have the time. I spent a lot of time on the road the past couple of months or whatnot, and it just wasn't ideal for me to do it this year. So, but I hope that the people that are in need are getting help from other sources. Um, you know, this economy and this inflation is taking a toll on everyone. It's definitely taking a toll on everyone. So, you know, you walk in the grocery store and you almost want to cancel Thanksgiving, and because of the prices, the prices of food is ridiculous. So, but that's that. But let's tackle some of the topics, the news stories of the day that's going on. We are not taking phone calls today. However, if you want to, you can definitely drop your comment into the comment section on Facebook, and I will read your comment out loud and we will discuss it. And even if it has nothing to do with my topic, if it's a legitimate topic and you wish to discuss it or wish to have me uh, comment on it, just put that information in the comment section. So, what do we have going on right now? There's a couple of major things that took place in our government, um, and we're gonna. The first one is the House of Representatives. It was called on yesterday, I believe, in regards to the projections as far as who would take over the House of Representatives, and it looks like the Republicans have taken over control of the House of Representatives. They reached that number 218 is the number that they needed to hit that plateau, if you will, and gain control of the House. They hit that on yesterday, and people don't understand. How you doing, Miss Barbara? Good to see you tonight, Miss Barbara. People don't understand what the significance of the Republicans taking over the House of Representatives. I wish everybody did understand the importance of the different entities of our government. You know, the legislative branch, the judicial branch, and the executive branch. All those play a major role in how we operate on a daily basis. A lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand that the people that are put in these positions kind of dictate how your life is going to go. And if we have a bunch of idiots like the members of the Republican Party that are making the laws and calling the shots, then that makes life miserable for people like you and I. But anyway, the Republicans did win the House. Uh, McCarthy is the one who is thinking that he will be the Speaker of the House. And if you know who McCarthy is, he is just as corrupt as the rest of the Republicans on that side. The Republicans ran on an agenda of uh, law and order, crime, inflation, uh, the border, gas prices. That's the thing that they supposedly ran this whole campaign on to try to gain control of the House, to try to gain control of the Senate. They fell short on the Senate. The Democrats did regain majority control of the Senate. Still have one race out there, which is the Georgia race that I hope that I have my Georgians are smart enough not to put an idiot like Herschel Walker into that seat. That seat is no longer a factor when it comes to majority, if you will, because the Democrats has maintained the majority as long as we, for the next 2 years anyway. So with the House, they ran on all this crap, this BS, and we knew that it was. Well, I knew that it was BS, and as far as crime, the border, inflation, gas prices, things of that nature. Before they reached that number 218, which they needed in order to gain control, they were already talking about their agenda. They had dropped everything that they supposedly campaigned on, and they dropped that, and they automatically went into, we're going to investigate everybody that has anything to do with the Democratic Party. Automatically, they forgot about the economy, forgot about inflation, they forgot about the border, they forgot about crime, and they went it straight to, we're going to investigate every Democrat that had anything to do with speaking truth to power while the orange idiot was president, and things that has taken place since the insurrection. That's their focus. They have a list of people that they have already targeted for impeachment. And with the impeachment process, It only takes the House to vote for impeachment. And keep in mind, just being impeached don't mean that you can be removed. The impeachment means that you've been indicted, if you will, and then it moves on to the Senate, and then the Senate trial determines if you are found guilty and if you are removed from your position. So thank God we still have the control of the Senate. However, an impeachment is not something that you want on your resume. Uh, but right now they have forgot about all these issues. They're talking about who are they going to impeach? Who are they going to investigate? And they have planned to investigate a whole lot of nothing that has to do with nothing. Has nothing to do with what's going on right now. They're going back to where they want to investigate Afghanistan, where they want to, the whole situation with the pullout in Afghanistan. If they want to investigate anybody on Afghanistan, they need to investigate Trump. Trump is the one that made the deal to where the troops will be pulled out of Afghanistan in a certain number of times. The Biden administration only had to follow suit because the deal had already been made when they got there. However, the Republicans, being as corrupt as they are, now want to investigate pulling out of Afghanistan when it was the orange idiot that initiated the whole thing. Keep in mind, Afghanistan, we had been over there for 20 years. At some point in time, you had to get out. It was supposed to take place under the Trump administration. It didn't. However, the deal had already been made. So we pulled out of Afghanistan, but they want to investigate that. One of their number one targets is Hunter Biden. People say, who in the hell is Hunter Biden? I heard of Joe Biden. Who is Hunter Biden? Hunter Biden is the son of Joe Biden. They want to investigate his business dealings with a foreign country. What does that have to do with the price of gas? Nothing at all. What does that have to do with inflation? Nothing at all. But they ran on this platform of crime, the border, inflation, gas prices. But they have not mentioned any of that in regards to their agenda going forward. They are wanting to execute and implement revenge politics. And that's all it is, revenge politics. And I'm hoping that we have some Republicans in the House that have common damn sense. The red wave did not take place that the Republicans were banking on. And when I say the red wave, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Republicans predicted that they would have this red wave. In other words, red is the color for Republicans, blue is the color for Democrats. They predicted that they would win the House and they would win it by 40, 50 seats. They would have a 40, 50 seat majority in the House. That did not happen. At best, the way it's looking right now, they're probably looking into they will probably have maybe a 10-seat advantage in the House of Representatives. That's far from the 50, 60 seats that they thought they were going to have. So the red wave did not matriculate in that particular fashion there. Also in the Senate, they thought they would gain control of the Senate. However, the Democrats ended up gaining a seat as it stands right now. And like I said, that Georgia Senate seat is the one that's still up for grabs. But it won't determine the majority. The majority has already been established. So, but the people of Georgia still have to get out and vote in this midterm because you cannot allow an idiot like Herschel Walker to sit in our Congress. Mr. Pugh put a comment in. I'm sorry. He says they also ran on impeaching Biden and his son. Yeah, we talked about that, and they're focused on Hunter Biden and what he made. They didn't worry about what the orange idiot and what all the corruption that was going on within the Trump organization. They didn't worry about that. They never talked about it. Never said that it was wrong, or never said that anybody did anything wrong when millions of dollars were being stolen. But they want to investigate Hunter Biden and act like Trump is innocent in everything. Mr. Adams said if Democrats can't leave Gaetz alone, they need to leave Hunter alone. I'm trying to understand that statement, Mr. Adams. If Democrats can leave Gaetz alone, they need to leave Hunter alone. Well, they don't need to leave Gaetz alone. Gaetz is a child molester. We need to stay on Gaetz. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Green Party, Libertarians, all of them need to stay on Bill Gates. He's a child molester. He's a sex trafficker. He's a druggie. We need to stay on him. So we don't want to leave him alone. What Hunter Biden got to do anything, I never know. Gaetz sits in our U.S. Congress. He is he sits on the Judicial Committee of all committees. He sits on the same committee that would investigate him for his ring of sex trafficking, child sex trafficking. So we can't leave Gaetz alone. We got to stay on him until he gets locked up. So, but the House switching over to the Republicans is a big issue. It's going to mean that Joe Biden is not going to be able to do what he wants or needs to do to move this country forward, because all the bills or legislation that will probably come out the House to be sent to the Senate is going to be bullshit based on what the Republican Party's agenda is, and it's not going to pass. It's not going to pass. As far as all the dumb stuff Republicans are trying to do, it's not going to pass through the Senate. Even in legislation that's introduced in the House on the Democratic side, without them having a majority, they will have to solicit votes from Republicans. But here's the thing. Is most laws, it does require that 60 vote majority. No, my bad. I just misspoke. In the House, the majority rules. However, trying to convince, if this red wave had taken place, trying to convince 50 plus people to come over to your ideology and your way of thinking is way more difficult than 10. So the Republicans are going to have a battle, if you will, because if the Democrats introduce something that makes sense, and we have a Republican or 10 Republicans sitting in the House chamber who say, yes, this makes sense, even though they expected me to vote party lines, but what the Democrats are doing makes sense. So I'm going to vote with the Democrats. If we can get 10 people to have some common damn sense in the House, we can still get some stuff done. But they're going to make it difficult. They're going to make it difficult. Let's see. Mr. Adams says, I agree. We didn't mess with him. His own people did. Mr. Pugh said, Mitch Romney said the GOP go down with the if GOP go down the investigation road, they are going down the wrong road. That's not helping the people they represent. And Mr. Pugh, I appreciate you putting that out there, because I have not heard to this point, and I'm glad you put that out there. I have not heard where a Republican is pushing back on these investigations that McCarthy is talking about. So, if anybody was going to say something, Mitt Romney was going to be one of the first people to speak out on that. Mitt Romney act like he got sent sometimes, but sometimes he with that bullshit too. So but he does have bouts. He have like seizures, if you will, and he'll have common sense for a little while, and he'll say something that makes sense, but then he'll go back into the Republican cult that they have over on the right as well. So, but that's where we are in the House. That's why we need to vote, people. We need to vote. It is so crucial in regard to voting. Um, the fate of a lot of things that happen in your daily life is on the line. So, next thing that happened, big thing that happened today is Nancy Pelosi announced that she will not run for minority leader of the House. If you don't know, she has been Speaker of the House for the past 2 years, 4 years actually. Um, but she's been the Democratic leader of the House for 20 years, which is historic. She is the first woman to be the leader of the Democratic Party. Mr. John said McCarthy may not get the votes. Yeah, he needs. I think there's 38 that said that he wasn't that they were not going to vote. Um, they don't know if they were going to vote him into that particular position, and he needs 218. He need 218 votes. I think he got like 180 something right now. So he has about 38 people that he has to convince that he's the person for the job. Out of those 38 people, I hope they got some common damn sense. But we're talking Republican Party, so we're beating a dead horse in that matter. So, but we're gonna hope. We're gonna hope. So, again, Nancy Pelosi announced that she will not run for the minority leader of the Democratic Party in the House of Representatives. She is passing on the reins. However, she is not leaving. Hey, Ms. Earlene. Ms. Earlene has joined us as well. Good to see you on tonight, Ms. Earlene. Um, but she is not leaving Congress. She's going to remain a representative out of California. Um, John Adams said Gates is one of 38. That's somewhat surprising that Gates is one. No, but we need Gates to go to prison, like where he need to be. So he just won't be a factor and won't be significant in anything. He hasn't passed legislation since he's been in Congress. So he's just a seat filler at this point. But anyway, um, again, Nancy Pelosi announced that she is not running. She will not seek reelection as far as the Democratic leader, the minority leader. She's passing on the reins. Uh, but again, she will remain in Congress as a representative out of her state of California, uh, uh, from the San Francisco area. So she will remain in Congress, which is I see it as a good thing, um, because whoever takes over is going to be a greenhorn, if you will, because Nancy has held that position for the last 20 years. So she has a uh, lot of knowledge when it comes to the ins and outs of being not only just a speaker but being the leader of the Democratic Party in the House of Representatives. So by her staying in the House, they have someone who has knowledge of the position and that can assist when they need to assist. Nancy Pelosi, she really impressed me on the day of the insurrection once the video came out, and it just showed how she kind of just took over the leadership on that day. She was technically our president for that day because we had asshole Trump watching people hurt and kill people, and Mike Pence was running for his life because Trump sicked the dogs on him. And Nancy Pelosi really kind of took the reins and showed that she is capable of handling a situation in a time of crisis. So, kudos to Nancy Pelosi. Again, she was the first woman to ever be the leader of the Democratic Party, and she held that position for 20 years. Um, one thing about that, exciting thing about her leaving is the people who will be in the running for that position. The one name that I keep hearing in regards to the one name I keep hearing in regards to who may be the front runner is Hakeem Jeffries. He is the House Representative out of New York. He is a black gentleman. He's not an old guy. If I had to guess his age, I would put him probably in his 40s, mid to late 40s, maybe. But he is the front runner. However, there are two other people that names have been mentioned. Clark, I forget, I can't remember what state she is from, and Aguilar as well. Those are the three. Jeffries, Clark, and Aguilar are the three people that names keep popping up in regards to who may be the Democratic leader of the House. I hope it's Jeffries. I'm tired of hearing, I'm tired of hearing, I'm tired of saying that it'd be the first black. I'm kind of tired of saying that we should have been had black people in positions, but a lot of things that's happening now, we have the first black that is doing this. But yeah, if that's the case, he would be the first black person to be the leader of the Democratic Party in the House of Representatives, and therefore, if he's voted in uh, going forward, um, and we do regain the House, which I think is going to happen in 2 years, we're going to regain the House of Representatives. If he is the leader, that puts him in the position of Speaker of the House, which puts him third in line when it comes to running the country. The order it goes in is the obviously the president, and then the vice president, and then the Speaker of the House, and then after that it is the Secretary of State. That's the order. Something strange happened, and the president went down, then the vice president would take over. If the vice president went down for some reason, then the Speaker of the House would take over. If that person went down, then we're looking at the Secretary of State that would take over the reins. Yeah, but Jeffries would be the first black person, not male or female, to hold that position. So have to see what's going to happen in the next month or two. We had it'll be established by January who will be where. So I'll keep you posted on that. Next thing that doesn't take place, if you're just joining us on WPMM Internet Radio on the Truth with G, going over some of the Thursday topics Thursdays, talking different topics and what's been going on. Again, if you're on Facebook, let's go ahead and share. If you have a comment, please drop it in the comment section. Mr. Pugh said, also, second leader behind Pelosi is stepping down. Yeah, he's stepping down as well, and I forgot his name. I knew his name until I read that, but he's an older gentleman. He's in his 80s as well. So I think he recognized the fact, and that he probably didn't want the pressure anyway. But I think he recognized the fact that we do need some younger representation. So that's why he decided not to pursue that position. Mr. Larry Pugh also said that the Black Caucus is behind Jeffries. Yeah, that's right. Actually, Hakeem Jeffries has a lot of support for that position. I wish he kind of been more vocal over the past couple years. I know he's sat on a couple committees, but he kind of been behind the scenes. I think that he's is a up and coming major player in U.S. politics, and I could see him being in talks for a legitimate presidential run here in the near future. Um, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We still searching for a Democratic candidate. I'm not going to start talking about if Biden should run again. I think you guys know my opinion on that, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Um, Mr. Pugh said Hakeem Jeffries ran the impeachment against Trump. Yeah, he did run one of them. Let's see. What else is going on? Now, let's go to the orange idiot. On yesterday, it was yesterday, I believe it was. I forget what day it was, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's such a blur. But the orange idiot announced that he was running for president of the United States again. Technically, this would be his third bid for president, running for president. Here's my thing on that. Here's my take on that, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that issue. Here's my thing on that. First, I cannot understand how someone can run for the office of the president of the United States when they have over 30 investigations into criminal wrongdoing going on all at the same time. +30 criminal and civil investigations going on, and this person is being allowed to make a bid at president of the United States. I think I think our system is totally screwed to allow something of this magnitude, if you will. And I guess the more money you have, the better off you are. Because I guarantee you, if I put my if I had a bubblegum theft on my record, or I was being investigated for stealing a pack of Trident gum, and I submitted for office, I would get ran out the building because they'll say, "Oh, you've been under investigation for stealing a pack of gum. You can't run for office." But Trump has done every crime that you can imagine. Every blue collar crime, from rape to sexual assault, to child molesting, to paying porn stars to shut up and don't tell that he's been in a Russian hotel getting peed on. I mean, the corruption goes on. He tried to manipulate and steal votes in an election. He stole classified nuclear documents from the White House and brought them to his house and said, "No, we don't have them here." And then it turned out they were there. Then he said, "Oh, but they're mine. First you said you didn't have them, but now they're yours." But all this stuff, all this corruption, this individual is being allowed to run for president of the United States. I don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. Especially when we have people out here that, because of an arrest, not a conviction, we have people. There's millions of people across this country that, because of an arrest, have either lost their job or has lost out on opportunity for a job because they have an arrest on their record. Not a conviction, just an arrest because they were investigated for a particular crime or whatever the case may be, and they were arrested. But now, even though the accusations were not founded, these people can't even get jobs. But you have someone like Trump who can do every crime in the book and be able to announce a bid for the president of the United States. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Also, we're going over interesting news of the day. Also, Mr. Mike Pence is still dodging questions. Mike Pence, if you don't know who Mike Pence is, he's the the former vice president of the Orange Idiot. I believe, but between Mike Pence and Ted Cruz, those are two of the sorriest bitches that I've ever came across in our political history. And I excuse my language, but them two. I mean, Pence had a town hall on last night, and he was asked questions about Trump, even if he would support Trump or whatever the case may be. And this man, even though that Trump was trying to have this man killed, he's still acting like a little bitch and won't say anything negative against Trump. And Trump tried to have him killed. So his future aspirations have not been revealed yet. They keep asking him if he's going to run for president, and he's keep dodging the question. But he is just as sorry as Trump in my eyes. So hopefully I don't know. Well, the best case scenario is for him to throw his hat in and win the Republican nomination. That way, I don't think that he's going to get the support that unfortunately Trump would get, because we have retarded people that will vote for Trump that won't vote for Mike Pence. But if Mike Pence become the Republican nominee, then we have a better chance at the Democratic candidate getting in much easier. So let's see. We have Miss Minnie Watkins that has joined us. She put a comment in and said, I don't either. He need to be under the jail. You're right. We was talking about Trump at the time. Mr. Larapue said it's the same. It's the same reason a pedophile can win an election, and Walker can run for Senate after paying for 2 abortions. GOP will want power to control. You're exactly right. And if you notice, they have kind of let Herschel Walker alone. If you haven't really paid attention to it, Herschel Walker is kind of getting quiet, if you will. Right after the election, when they thought that the Senate was still up for grabs, you had people like Ted Cruz running to Georgia. You had bitch ass Lindsey Graham running to Georgia and talking about going on TV and talking about black people don't like Herschel Walker because he's a Republican. Yeah, we don't like Herschel Walker because he is an asshole. He's a dummy and he's an asshole. That's why we don't like Herschel Walker, and he's a sellout. But all these people flocked to him right after the election day, which was that Tuesday. They flocked to him because they thought that Georgia was going to be the deciding factor in them having control of the Senate. Now that there's not a pathway to control the Senate, all these people that were supporting him are not as vocal as they were a week ago. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but just pay attention to the news. You'll see that they're not embracing him as much as they was a week ago. So, but on Georgia, on that particular note, in Georgia, I need you guys to show up and show out. You cannot let a Herschel Walker sit in our Senate over someone like Raphael Warnock, and not big. And Raphael Warnock just has common sense. I don't care what color he is. It doesn't matter what color he is. Raphael Warnock has sense, so he has knowledge of politics. He has knowledge of how the legislative process works. Herschel Walker can't open a box of cereal. So I would hope my Georgians are better than what I just saw in the election, because all these idiots that voted for this idiot, it just boggles my mind that we are living in a society to where we would choose to have stupidity make our laws. That just makes no sense to me whatsoever. let's see what else is going on. There was I talked about it on the last show. There was a shooting at University of Virginia where three football players were shot. That the culprit or the shooter was apprehended. It was actually Monday. The shooter was apprehended. The shooter was a black man, former football. He was on the football team at one point at University of Virginia. Honor student, but for whatever reasons, I still have not heard a motive, if you will. But three young men lost their lives that played football on that team. Two other people were hurt, injured in the shooting. There was a total of five. Going to Idaho, let's go to Idaho for a second. There is a developing story in Idaho where there was four students killed at the University of Idaho. First thing I said was, "Where's Idaho?" But let's see. Mr. Pugh put a comment in. Let's go back to that. Mr. Pugh said we still need that seat, that Georgia seat. Donate to Warnock campaign. Yes, we definitely need that seat, so we can definitely hold on to the majority, and what we don't have to have the vice president to come in to cast a tie vote. So, like I say, I hope Georgians do well in this runoff election. But again, in Idaho, four students were killed in an apartment right off campus. And it seems that the information coming out from the sheriff department there, the police department, has been vague. Apparently, the parents of students up there are frustrated because of the lack of information that's being given as far as any type of motive, who may have done what. But four people were killed. The call came in, the 911 call came in stating that it was someone unconscious. And once they got there, it was determined that there were four people that were dead. All four were stabbed to death. All four that are deceased were stabbed to death. It's been described from the responders, if you will, that it was one of the most gruesome scenes that they have seen. So we're not sure what happened, but my condolences go out to these four individuals that lost their life. I hope that they do find whoever is responsible for this and have them to face justice, if you will. All these students were white students. I think it was one male and three females, if I'm not mistaken. If I got that wrong, somebody please let me know. But from the information I was given, it was three females and one male at the University of Idaho that were killed in an apartment there. Real quick, I want to talk just real quick on crime. And then again, this was one of the things that the Republican Party was running on. All these candidates was running on crime, even though the most of the crime is taking place in Republican uh, states that are red states, if you will. That the crime is going on in those states more often or more prevalent than the blue states, if you will. But here's the thing: why we cannot let anybody trick us into believing that a politician can stop crime. A politician cannot stop crime. We cannot, there's nobody that you can elect that's going to go out and push a magic button and crime is going to stop. It's not going to happen. That the Republican Party fooled a whole lot of people in thinking that the elected officials are the ones who can stop crime. It's bullcrap. The only people that can stop crime is the people that are committing the crimes. I don't care how many extra police officers you hire. I don't care if you beef up patrols where they, every hour you got a patrol vehicle running up in your neighborhood or whatever the case may be. There, there's not a politician or a police officer that can stop crime. The police is there to react and respond to crime. So putting extra cops on the streets is not going to solve the crime issue. It'll help the response time. It may help in the investigations, having more eyes on things as far as the investigation, but it's not going to stop crime. How many crimes happen right in the vicinity of the sheriff department? How many crimes happen right there in the vicinity of the police department? Yeah, there's been crimes that take place close enough to the sheriff department to where they didn't even have to respond in cars. They could have walked to the scene. So a politician can't stop crime. So the Republicans ran on this as far as their agenda in these campaigns, but it did not have effect on anything. It's something that is created in the minds of these right wing Republicans to to put fear into people to think that a politician can make everything okay when it comes to crime. Again, only people that can stop crime is the people that are committing the crimes. The mentality of that person has to change in order for that person not to want to commit a crime. That's what we need to focus on. We putting more police on the streets is not going to solve that issue. So, don't be bamboozled. Don't be tricked into thinking something is something when it's not, because that's what the Republican Party does. They trick you into believing things that's not reality. They duped a lot of people into voting for them based on their so-called agenda, and they flip the script on them, and they're not even worried about those things that they ran on. They completely does flip the script on that. Um, let's see, Mr. Pugh said crime was here before we were born and will be here after we are gone. You're exactly right. Like I said, we can only try to change the mentality of the people that um, either have committed crimes or has the mindset to where they will commit a crime. We have to get into the minds of these people and get into some of the reasons why these people think this way. Get it, the social economical reasons why people feel like they have to commit crimes, why people feel like they have to commit a burglary. If it's a lack of jobs, we need to put more people to work. If it's just a lack of effort, if it's just a lack of care, of human decency or whatever, we need to get healthcare and mental health individuals involved to where we can get these people to thinking in the right track. Just putting police on the street is not going to fix it. Putting a politician in office is not going to fix it. We have to get into the minds of the people that are committing these crimes. So I have a lot that I could keep continuing to go on, but I have to get up out of here. It's time for me to go. I got somewhere to be here in a few minutes. Again, I will be on vacation next week. I'll be on vacation next week, so I will not be doing live shows next week. I'll be back the week following, the week of the 27th, I believe it is, 28th. I think it's the 28th. I will be back on then. I'm sure a lot will happen between now and then. But again, don't be surprised if you see me pop up on Facebook and talk about things that is going on, because that's a long time to go without informing you guys about what's going on in our community and uh, in our nation, if you will. So you probably see me pop in. You probably see me pop in at some point. But I'm going to try to use this time to kind of rest and relax and relax my brain. My son is. No, I'm not going to talk about him. But yeah, it's much deserved time off that I really, really, really do need. So I will be back on the 28th. Be back on the 28th. I think that's Monday, the 28th. So, but I do appreciate you joining in right here on the Trooper G on WPMM Radio. Again, we're headed toward the weekend. Have a safe weekend. Have a happy holiday, uh, Thanksgiving holiday. Make sure that you stay safe. You know, love on one another. Let's stop all this foolishness. Let's stop all this bickering, this hate, this violence, this killing. Let's stop all that, and let's come together as a people, as a families, and let's enjoy the season, the holiday season, like we should. And let's make sure that everybody that's here stays here and not taken away from a senseless act of violence. So, but once again, I thank you for joining me. I will be back on the 28th on Monday. Until then, you guys be safe. Y'all be blessed. And I am out of here.